Coming up tonight, Singapore's temperamental weather could be detrimental to health.
Indonesia hit 1 million COVID-19 cases today, making it the worst hit country in Southeast Asia.
And the Singapore Zoo welcomes its first lion cub conceived through assisted reproduction. Welcome to the Straits Times Newsnight. I'm Dylan Ang.
I'm Chao Suen. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Now, don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram. Hot today, cold tomorrow. Singapore's weather has been nothing short of temperamental. Scorching hot one day and cool and wet the next. And it's not just whether we need to bring an umbrella when we head out that Singapore needs to worry about. Doctors warn that the rapidly shifting weather can cause a myriad of conditions such as heat stroke, which can cause high body temperature, confusion, nausea, shallow breathing and a racing heart rate. In serious cases, a heat stroke can even lead to seizures and coma. Doctors also warn that conditions such as asthma and eczema could flare up in such weather.
It's the fourth straight day that there are no new COVID-19 infections in the community among the 14 cases confirmed today. All 14 were imported ones who have been placed on stay-home notices when they arrived in Singapore. Now, seniors 70 years old and above can receive their COVID-19 vaccines from tomorrow. This will start with pilots in Ang Mo Kio and Tanjong Pagar, where larger numbers of the elderly reside. Tanjong Pagar Community Centre is one of the first CCs to bring vaccinations to the heartlands. Trade and Industry Minister Chan Chun Sing, who's also Deputy Chairman of the People's Association, was there this afternoon to oversee the final setup before doors open for the vaccination exercise tomorrow.
The design of this vaccination centre, I think the people have put in quite a bit of thought into catering for the elderly. So for example, there's an express lane there for people who are not so mobile, who comes in wheelchair, so that they don't have to wait too long. The size of the booth is also slightly bigger than the ones that you see at T4, where it caters to people who are more mobile, so that we can wheel in the wheelchair and wheel out the wheelchair. Even the sitting arrangements, if you notice that the chairs that are being selected for them, it provides greater stability and assistance to the elderly when they are in the waiting area. So these are some of the differences.
Mr. Chan also said that each of the 24 towns in Singapore will have one community vaccination centre by end March. This will ensure that when more vaccines arrive, they can be quickly distributed to the population, in particular the elderly. Now, looking at the COVID-19 situation beyond our shores, it's a grim milestone. Indonesia crossed 1 million infection cases just today. This makes it the hardest hit country in Southeast Asia. Hospitals in some areas were near capacity. As of now, there are more than 28,000 deaths. The milestone comes just weeks after Indonesia launched a massive vaccination campaign to inoculate two-thirds of the country's 270 million people.
Paramjit Kaur, the woman who claimed she was a sovereign when told to wear a mask in public, is expected to face another charge under the Women's Charter, but it's not clear what it will be for. She currently faces 6 charges, 4 of which are for breaching COVID-19 regulations. The remaining 2 are for public nuisance and for failing to report her change of home address. She is currently out on bail and her case will be heard again on February 22nd.
In the year before it was decimated by the COVID-19 pandemic, Singapore's arts and culture scene was in fact booming, with events and museums drawing record numbers. Arts and cultural events recorded an all-time high attendance, 15.6 million in 2019, surpassing 2018's record of 13.6 million.
It was a similarly positive year for museums and heritage institutions as well, with a record 9.6 million in 2019. While Minister for Culture, Community and Youth Edwin Tong acknowledged the good results on Facebook, he said that the 2020 results, which will be released next year, are far from ideal and called on the public to continue to support the industry.
Now let's take a look at what's been trending on social media and sparking conversations today. welcoming Singapore's very own SIMBA, and he is truly a special little creature. SIMBA the lion cub is the Singapore Zoo's first lion cub conceived through assisted reproduction and was born in October last year. SIMBA preserves its bloodline at the zoo from its father Mufasa, and his birth was the product of the fourth and only successful assisted reproduction attempt involving Mufasa. The Wildlife Reserve Singapore said that 3 months on, SIMBA is growing up to be a healthy and inquisitive little lion, and his current favourite toy is a rattan ball which he likes to tussle with. SIMBA and its mother Kayla are currently housed in an off-exhibit area to allow them to further strengthen their bond away from the glare of visitors.
The Jungle Cruise ride at Disney's theme parks are certainly a highlight for visitors, but will now be getting a makeover to remove what the company called negative depictions of some cultures. Disney said that the riverboat attraction will be updated to reflect the diversity of the world around us. First launched in 1955, critics have long accused it of having racist overtones in its depiction of some non-Western characters as savages and cannibals. The updated ride will include new scenes and a new storyline. No date for the launch was given, but Disney said the changes were not connected with the upcoming Jungle Cruise movie starring Dwayne Johnson, due for release in July.
In sports, now getting used to saying Tokyo 2021, well, that might soon change. Florida has offered to host the Olympic Games amid speculation that the current host, Japan, may back out. The state's chief financial officer, Jimmy Patronis, sent a letter to Thomas Bach, the head of the IOC, citing the supposed strength of the state's vaccination rollout, its economic reopening, and sports events it has hosted amid the pandemic. Just last week, Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga insisted that Japan will be sticking to the planned July 23rd date.
In case you missed it, he is truly doing Singapore proud on the global stage. Local singer JJ Lin has won big at China's Tencent Music Entertainment Awards. Singapore-born Mandopop singer JJ Lin swept up 3 wins at the recent awards that took place on Saturday at the Venetian, Macau. He won Best Male Singer of the Year, Best Producer of the Year, and Top 10 Single of the Year. Other international winners included American pop star Taylor Swift and Korean group Blackpink.
And that wraps up the Straits Times Newsnight. Do visit straitstimes.com to see more news and videos.
You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the button below. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.